Welcome again, Wildcats. Alright, so today we're looking at Thursday, January 26th, and we're going to solve square root equations. And that's going to be on page 48. So if you would, pause the video and update your table of contents. Alright, now that your table of contents are updated, let's take a look at our notes. Alright, so solve square root equations. Okay, so the solve square root equation steps are: step 1, isolate the square root. Step 2, raise both sides of the equation to the power of 2. Step 3, simplify and solve. Step 4, check for extraneous solutions. So if you would, pause the video and update your notes. Alright, let's look at our examples. Alright, so let's look at example 1, example 3, example 4, and example 7. Alright, so let's look through the steps. Alright, step 1, isolate the square root. So to isolate the square root in step 1, we're going to square both sides. Square root and this become to the power of 1, so you get 2x equals 36. Step 3, we're going to simplify and solve. So we're going to divide 2 by both sides, so x equals 18. Alright, in step 4, we're going to check for extraneous solutions. So to do that, we're going to substitute 18 back into the equation. So you get square root of 2 times 18 equals 6. Well, 2 times 18 is 36. The square root of 36 is 6. So there are no extraneous solutions in example number 1. And 18 is correct. All right, let's look at example 3. All right, so to isolate the square root of step 1, we notice that we're dividing by 3, so that's not isolated. So I know that I can write 4 as 4 divided by 1, so I'm going to multiply everything by 3. So when I do that, I get 3 times the square root of 5 divided by 3, which 3 divided by 3 is 1. So you get the square root of x plus 5 equals 3 times 4, which is 12. Okay, so now the square root is isolated, so now we're going to raise both sides by the power of 2. This becomes to the power of 1, so you get x plus 5 equals 144. We subtract 5 from both sides, so x equals 139. Alright, so step 4, we've already simplified and solved, so now we're on to step 4, check for extraneous solutions. So we're going to substitute 139 into the equation, so you get the square root of 139 plus 5 divided by 3 equals 4. Well, 139 plus 5 is 144. The square root of 144 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 4 equals 4. So there are no extraneous solutions in example 3, and 139 is a valid solution. All right, let's look at example 4. All right, so we notice the square root's isolated. So step 2, we're going to raise both sides by the power of 2. So I get x minus 4 squared, which becomes x minus 4 times x minus 4 equals, that becomes to the power of 1, x minus 2. All right, so we're going to multiply. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. And negative 4 times negative 4 is a positive 16 equals x minus 2. Well, we know negative 4x and negative 4x combined to be negative 8x. So you get x squared minus 8x plus 16 equals x minus 2. Now, in order to solve, we need to have everything on one side. So we're going to subtract x and 2 from both sides. So we get x squared minus 9x plus 18. Now we subtracted x and added 2 equals 0. Now at this point, we need to solve. So we're going to start by trying to factor. You could also do completing the square or quadratic formula. So first term, last term, and we know we want this to equal negative 9x. So we need to find all the factors of 18. So we know negative 1 times negative 18, negative 2 times negative, 9, negative 3 times negative 6, negative 4 times doesn't work, negative 6 times negative 3. So we know that these two combine to be negative 9, so we know we have x minus 3, x minus 6, which let's check. Yes, that in fact gives you negative 9. So we have x minus 3 equals 0, and x minus 6 equals 0. So our two solutions are x equals 3 and x equals 6. To that, we need to move on to step 4 and check. All right, so we plug in, let's try 3 first. So we get 3 minus 4 equals the square root of 3 minus 2. Well, we know that 3 minus 4 is negative 1, 3 minus 2 is 1. We know that these don't equal, so we know that x equals 3 is an extraneous solution. So now let's try 6. So 6 minus 4 equals the square root of 6 minus 2. Well, we know 6 minus 4 is 2, 6 minus 2 is 4, square root of 4 is 2, so 2 equals 2. So x equals 6 is our solution. All right, so let's look at example number 7. All right, example number 7. Now, it says isolate the square root But in this problem, there's no way you could divide 5 by both sides, but then you'd have 5 over here. So really, they're as isolated as you can get. So we move on to raise both sides by the power of 2. Well, this becomes the power of 1, so you get x plus 4 equals, now if you square, you end up getting 5 squared, because what happens here is this becomes 5 square root of x minus 20 times 5 square roots of x minus 20. Well, that's end up giving you 5 times 5, and this times this, because this is technically x minus 20 to the 1/2, x minus 20 to the 1/2. So when you multiply, you add, so 1/2 plus half is 1. So you'll end up getting x plus 4 equals 5 times 5 is 25 times x minus 20. And then from here, you just distribute, so 25x minus 25 times 20, which my math is a little rusty, so let me check a calculator. So 25 times negative 20 is negative 500. We're going to move everything to one side, so I'm going to subtract x, subtract 4, so I get 0 equals 24x minus 504, but then I think, wait a second, I need x by itself, so I'm actually going to add the 504 back, equals 24x, divide both sides by 24, x equals 21. Now just notice something. There's actually another way you could have done this. You could have actually subtracted x and added 500. So you would have actually gotten 504 equals 24x this way. So it could have saved you some steps. And then you know that you divided 24, so x equals 21. So 2 ways to do that problem. You don't have to do both of them, but it's just method 1, method 2. All right, and then we want to check. All right, so we get the square root of 21 plus 4 equals 5 times the square root of 21 minus 20. Well, 21 plus 4 is 25. Square root of 25 is 5. 21 minus 20 is 1. 1 times 5 is, so this checks. So x equals 21 is the solution. All right, with that, that should get you pretty much started. I think you should be able to try example 2 and 5, 6, and 8 before you get to class. But if you have questions, let me know. And with that, have a terrific Wildcat day.